There we go. Sorry. Hi, everybody. I'm going to move my cat here. I need to move. Okay. Because I'm going to need the microphone. Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. I was having some technical difficulties. And it wasn't working properly. So I don't know if it's the camera or Facebook is having some issues. Let me double check something here real quick. Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm good. Okay, I just want to make sure the comment thing was working so you guys can post comments. Anyway, hi, this is Ginger, and this is Ginger's Chat Show. And it's Monday, May 15th, and today is a scorcher. There's some clouds, but it's kind of muggy, yucky and muggy. Hi, Nancy. Sorry it took so long. I was having technical issues, as I said before. I don't know why this was acting up. I don't know, was it my camera? It's being funny. It's getting old. Or, because I had this thing like 3 years now. 2 or 3 years. And or Facebook is having problems themselves with their live producers. So, it's one of those things where I take it and go bump it one. Anyway, I just waiting on my rest of my laundry to finish drying, and I'm all done for that. Hey, Dorothy! They're expecting thunderstorms this afternoon here, which is going to be a little bit noisy, because now that I'm on the top floor, and so I hope this building is rigged with lightning rods to protect it, and so there is some stuff that I would have to unplug that doesn't have surge protectors on here. I have surge protectors on this thing, so I hope everything behaves itself more than anything. I just warned my neighbor about that, so. Anyway, on to the news. I hope everyone had a nice Mother's Day yesterday. I went to church and saw all my friends, talked to my daughter. I don't know if she's listening to this or not, but she said she was going to take a nap. So, anyway, so I hope you guys have fun. Now, I don't know if any of you ladies keep track of hockey where you are, especially in Boston, the Eastern State areas. I don't know if you keep track of that or not. Tonight is Game 7 of Round 2 between the Dallas Stars and the Seattle Kraken. Seattle Kraken's my team, my boys. And so they're playing tonight. And win or lose, I hope Kraken wins and goes on to the Western Conference Finals. They should make the finals. And when they make the finals and win the finals, they go on to play for the Stanley Cup. And I hope they do. So I'll be keeping an eye on that tonight. So, best wishes to Seattle. And go boys, you got this. Now, as you know, Trump, as usual, made a ass of himself, which he is. And Facebook is making ass of themselves too by restricting many of the speech that the members use. And this has got to stop Facebook. No more. On Trump issues, he still has not sent any of the required documents on stuff they need to get from him. And also same way with Rudy Giuliani. He claimed he doesn't have the money to do it. I'm sorry about the noise. They're mowing the lawn. They're trying to get ahead of this, and blowing leaves out of the way and everything. So ignore the noise if you can. Anyway, as usual, he does his stupid rally, and he was in Iowa over the weekend, and Iowa was contending with severe tornado watches and warnings. Well, he was forced to cancel because there was a tornado warning in the area, and the event managers and everything told him, no, you need to get out of here. You need to stay under cover because tornadoes are dangerous. And I don't think he's ever contended with, or saw or contended with a tornado. He who should not be named has tended to do stupid things. Like looking up in the sun and everything else when he's told not to. No. You don't chew on that. You. No, you don't chew on that. Loki, stop. My desk is not edible. Loki's over here in the corner, and he's been chewing on my computer desk. Turns on it. Stop it. Well, just 1 minute. I need to take care of something. There. Now I won't chew on anything. But he's done some dumb, stupid things, and he's still attacking the judges, still attacking this. Now he's attacking President Biden and everything else. Well, you better be careful how he attacks. Trump is obtuse. He's not very smart, and as always for anarchists, he does not follow the rules. That were put there for a reason. And somebody should give him a lecture to his face and say, no, you don't do these things, ever. And you don't belong in a federal office such as President of the United States. It takes a very special person to be President of the United States. You have to have energy, fortitude, ethics. Ethics is very important. Ethics and following the Constitution and protecting us, American people. Because the president is working for the American people. And same way with Congress and the Senate, both the Senate and the... he can't keep his mouth shut, and he should be gagged. Not only literally, but figuratively, he should be gagged and told to shut up. And CNN and some of the other media networks need to stop paying attention to him. Stop giving him a platform. CNN's already lost ratings because of that town hall. And Fox News has basically dumped Trump because Trump screwed them up. And they probably didn't realize until afterwards. Oh, please. Disney movies been around ever since I can remember. So what is DeSantis' problem? Really? What's his problem? He doesn't want anybody to have fun. That's my impression. He's so jealous of Disney that he decided to pick on him and do this stupid "Don't Say Gay" bill. DeSantis is just about as stupid as Trump. DeSantis should not be allowed to run either. He's not supposed to be running for president right now because he's still governor of Florida. And you think the Florida AG would say, look, you can't run until you're out of office. And that's what they should be telling him. Because when, what's his name? One of the Bush family members that was governor of Florida, he did not run until, 2 or 3 years later? Yeah, well, the parents need to stop complaining and stop judging the books by its cover. And that's what we're doing. That's what they're doing. And I'm sorry. So what? On the movie that it has a minute of a gay character. So what? Kids need to be exposed to things to understand the world. Okay? They should not be sheltered. You know, they should not be kept under cover. Porn, yes, is wrong, but I'm talking about other subjects. I'm talking about other things. And kids need to stop being sheltered. Because once they get out in college, they're going to be exposed to a lot of stuff. You know, I was sheltered when I was growing up. And I didn't realize all the stuff was going on. And I asked Mom, I said, why did you shelter us girls? Because when we get out in the real world on our own, we're going to be running across this stuff. It's still Florida state law, Dorothy. The only way to change it if the Florida state legislature changes it. Well, haven't seen any story on it. Have you guys seen a story on this? Have they really changed it, or were they just talking about doing it? But DeSantis needs to be sued. He needs to be sued by, not only by Disney, but he needs to be sued by the Disney employees, and he needs to be sued by the Disney supporters. What he's doing. California, they don't do this. Okay? You know, the Disneyland, everything down, parks down in California, they don't do this. They don't go after Disney because they know Disney provides jobs. Okay, well, I would have to look it up because I haven't seen anything on the main media news or anything about it. I could, you know, when I go to watch Midas Touch, I could ask them if they heard anything about it. Well, he should still not be allowed to run. And a lot of people don't seem to like DeSantis either. So he's not a good quality candidate. And Florida needs a new governor in there. Florida needs a Democratic governor. So stupid. And the GOP is being stupid. Here they want a majority, yet they don't know how to, they don't know how to govern. Hey, Virginia! Hi! Welcome aboard. Good seeing you. I hope you're okay. I don't, which one of you fell through a plate glass coffee table? It's not a way to go. So anyway, here, I'm going to do something here. Oh, okay. How you feeling, Virginia? You okay? Still kind of bruised up from the little accident. I remember when I was in my late teens, early 20s. I was just finished cleaning the stall, and it was a little bit windy. Well, I didn't realize there's Dutch doors on the stall doors, and there's a top half and a bottom half. Well, the top half, what I had open, was somehow the wind went through, closed the top half. I didn't see it, and I ran right into it. I smacked right into it like here, it almost knocked me out. And, okay. You didn't get cut up or anything? Because glass cuts are terrible. Yeah. I almost knocked myself silly on that one. My horse Ferrari saw it happen. He was like, whoa. So anyway, I was very careful the next time on this. So, you know, when you have animals and have horses in the house, you've got to be mindful of safety things. Be safe around it more than anything. Let's see, anything else? By the way, he who should not be named needs to be gagged. You need to have a gag slapped on him, and a gag order. And they need to stop pussyfooting around. And if he keeps doing that, he keeps breaking rules and everything else, you know what? Throw the guy in jail. Put him in solitary. Keep him there until a trial. Treat him like everybody else. I don't care if he was a so-called former president. He was never my president. How we lived through the 4 years of that is beyond me. Just all the years that we had previous presidents, they never did any of this. What club is that, Virginia? What club are you talking about? As you can see, I'm a little bit, it's hot in here. It's 80, yeah, it's gone up to 85 degrees today. We're supposed to have a thunderstorm this afternoon, which is going to be fun. So after my clothes are done and everything, I'm going to, oh, the accident club. Yeah. Well, I started way earlier than that accidents in my lifetime. I remember 3 years old, we were stationed up in Elmendorf Air Force Base up in Alaska. I was playing with my dog Scotia. She was a Cocker Spaniel. She loved to play with the ball. And the ball bounced down to one of the middle steps in the basement. Okay? Well, I went down to get it. And I turned around, picked up the ball. Well, Scotia jumped the gun. She knocked me backwards, and I fell downstairs. I wasn't hurt or anything. I was trying to stop myself from falling downstairs further, but Mom heard something happen, and it was her fault. She forgot to close the door. And Mom was just upset and frightened and everything else. I go, I'm okay, you know. I didn't break anything. Didn't even get any bruises. So, when you're a kid, you kind of shake things off. When you get older, not so much. I have, you hear that chittering noise out here? I have just outside of my window up on the eaves, there's a pair of birds. They're not chickadees. They're, I think they're finches. They live up there and they're raising babies. And so you can hear the babies yelling, "Hey mom, I want my dinner, I want my lunch, or I want my breakfast." So they're chittering a lot. They're really kind of cool because when they perch, they have very long talons and they could perch themselves on the side of the building sideways like this. And one was parked right here, and he was chittering at me and Loki. Loki's here on the ledge right now. He can't get out or anything. But he just the bird was just chattering to both of us and just having fun. So, well, it's time for me to sign off. And also I'll be, later on I'm going to take a shower and try to cool off some more. This heat has a tendency to kill your appetite. It really does. So, I try to have something, for lunch. Light, and of course a light dinner. So, anyway, okay, well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about? It's your turn to have the floor. Anyway, I'll keep an eye on the news and everything else.